Being realistic about it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's if you look at and the fall does matter. You know, spring football matters. You get a feel for what your team is, but until you start getting you know block knocked off a little bit, you don't know really how you're going to respond because chemistry I think plays such a big part in any ball club. I don't care if it's college. We've always put it to college, you know what I'm saying? It's like chemistry in college because they're doing so many things together. When you get professional, it's more about your contracts and your life with your family, that kind of thing. But the more I, talk to people in pro ball, it's the very same thing. You talk to Brendan Moore, the chemistry he's built with the Canes, I think is very obvious. Part of their success is that clubhouse. And so the thing that I will say about the fall is we had 20 new guys that had never stepped on campus at NC State, with 20 guys that have been here for 3 or 4 or 5 years. And how they were going to mesh is a big thing I look for in the fall. And I'm shocked that, like I said, we hadn't lost games, we hadn't put a lineup out and all this kind of stuff. But to see the camaraderie and how they get along and the things that they do with each other, and I'm talking about a freshman maybe going to play golf with a fifth-year senior. Stuff that shocks me a little bit. I think it says something about we have a chance to build a chemistry here. And then you got to be good enough. In a league that's extremely tough with a schedule based on all the great teams here in North Carolina, it's really, really, really tough to win a lot of games. So we'll see how it plays out.
Another first practice for you, Elliott. Another first practice. Is it just as exciting now as it was 30-something years for you?
I don't know if anything could be more exciting than that first year here when I came back. To follow Ray Tanner, who was good enough to put me on his first staff when he followed the legendary, Sam Esposito, who built this program that's been so consistent for 50 years. And if you look up there somewhere, there's been 5 coaches up there that span over 100 years, and that says a lot about the consistency and tradition of this program. So I don't know if anything can top that first, opening day when I was here. Maybe less jitters, but still the same excitement, but nothing could probably top that.
The guys have all spoken about character guys being brought into here. How hard is that now in that transfer portal, NIL world, to try to find the right guys that are here for the right reason?
Well, it's so hard, Casey, and you talk about, we're recruiting people 3, 4, 5 years out, and then we're adding transfer portal. And you may know a lot more about their play and how good they are with the transfer portal. It's like training for a guy in the NHL. You may know more about them, but character is still something that defines who you're going to be from, they have trades in the big leagues and they'll still call us and ask about the character of those players when they were in college. It matters everywhere. And I'm glad to hear the players said that because Coach Hart took over recruiting here about, I can't remember when I gave him the keys to the recruiting car and I think he was a little bit nervous, but what a recruiter he's been and what a job he's done here for NC State and for our program. And I always told him, as you're going out recruiting guys, maybe 2, 3, 4 years away from playing, it's going to be hard to get it right every time. So always make a mistake on talent, never make a mistake on character.
I think Garrett made mention of the fact that he wanted to come play for a coach like you because you bring in those guys with the character rather than just, who might just be the most talented or who might require the most NIL money. How much pride do you take in keeping those morals with your coaching and the recruits that you bring in and transfer guys, considering this day and age of where we're at in college sports?
Well, when I talk about the tradition of this program, like I said, Coach Esposito built this program, and he did it with character. And then Ray Tanner took over, Coach Valvano hired Ray Tanner, and Coach Tanner kept that up. So I had the blueprint. All I had to do was, follow that blueprint, and that's what we've done. And you speak about Garrett Pennington, he played for a friend of mine, Lauren Hibbs, who used to be the head coach of Charlotte, who got his career started at Wichita State when I was out west at New Mexico State. And so I knew from Lauren Hibbs who we were getting character-wise in Garrett Pennington.
Guys like William Larry and Jake Kuzar have talked about the depth of the pitching staff and the bullpen. What's kind of your thoughts on that?
Well, it's interesting. It's a really interesting dynamic with our pitching. You have Logan Whitaker, who's a 6th year. You have Sam Highfield. You have Matt Willison, who were on the 21 team, starters on the 21 team that took us all the way to Omaha and got through that unbelievable Arkansas Super Regional. And so you talk about those guys, and then you talk about we have a lot of freshmen. I can't even count how many we got who have great arms, but they're freshmen. But their maturity level in the fall, they didn't seem like they were 18 years old. They didn't seem like they weren't ready for this moment, but we'll see when we get in the moment. But we got a bunch of good young arms, and we have the veterans that have done so many things for us, so we'll see how that works out.
What can you say about a guy like Sam Highfield, who's been around and had a lot of ups and downs, but has made his way back?
Well, it says it all. When he was, I think Jeff Gravitt, we had the NIL banquet and the banquet to open up our season the other night at the McKimmon Center, and Jeff Gravely introduced him as the mayor of Apex. I mean, everybody looks at him as that guy, kind of like the guy that does so much for this program, does it the right way in the community, and such a staple of our program. And Sam, you know, he embodies everything this program is about. He's gone through some injuries, and you just hope he's healthy because he's gone through so much, but you would never know it because he never says anything.
What keeps you going, Coach? What keeps you going?
Players. The players is what I've always done this for. It's what, you know, I love NC State. There's no, you know, secret about that. My love affair with this school and the athletics overall at NC State. But it's the players. It's always about the players. You know, when my dad passed 3 years ago in January, actually the anniversary is coming up in a couple days, and my mom passed in January this past year. Those were tough times for me, as Jackson Lucas is going to go through some tough times. We went to a service for one of our freshmen's father yesterday, and I reminded Jackson, through those tough times, the players are what got me through that, and it's going to be his teammates that help get him through this time. So it's all about the players. Gibby, it always has been.
A lot of people in the NC State fan base are geeked about the newcomers, and they think this is that they're the type that can propel you this year and beyond. And you spoke of Chris Hart. How much expectation do you put on them, and how excited are you to see them get out there and compete? I'm
excited to see them compete, but I don't put expectations. I think expectations is what, when you come to college first time, I don't care if you're Trey Turner, he was, I think, scared to death his first game, and you see what he did in his career, and you put in expectations, especially in a sport where there's a lot more failure than there is success. So to give that to anybody, especially somebody 18 years old, I never talk about expectations. We try to compete for each other and make sure we're playing for the right reasons, because as Casey mentioned, in the world of NIL, in the new world of transfer portal, they almost encourage you or allow you to go somewhere else no matter what the situation. And it can, like I said, in a failure sport, it can always give you an out, and if you take too many outs in life, I don't know how you're gonna ever get there.
Ellie, you're gonna win your 1,000th game at NC State at some point this year. Maybe early
Maybe,
in the
I don't know.
season.
I'm not counting yet, I tell you that.
I feel comfortable in that prediction.
Okay.
Just what does that mean to you? Is it just a number, or is it really important to you, or just what does it say to you?
Oh, God. No, I think numbers are important, but what it speaks to it'll reflect when I'm sure they'll do something on the field. I hope not. I'd just rather go to the next game. But you always reflect on your former players. Like, Nick Swinney was here this morning. Evan Justice threw a bullpen this morning. Austin Murr's here, getting ready to go out to pro ball. It's his birthday today. So it'll give you, when they put a magic number, because you don't count. You never count. But when somebody talks about if we get to that number, it'll allow you to reflect on all the players that I talked to Nick Stanley this morning. Nick Stanley was named the manager of the Mudcats. Nick played here in 2008. We thought we were going to Omaha that year. We lost the third game in Georgia, and from a really loud crowd at Georgia, and to keep them going to the World Series, and Nick was on that ball club. So it just allows you to reflect and touch back and reach out with so many people that have made this journey here at NC State so special to me.
JT Jarrett back with the program. What's it like to have him? Obviously, a guy who's been here, knows what it's like, to kind of be a leader, I guess, maybe. JT that's so special. When you get, like I said, everybody that's ever coached at this program and helped get this program, whether you were a trainer, whether whoever you were, Jody Cahoon in the equipment room, it doesn't matter who you were, everybody played a part. And when one of your former players comes back to coach with you, I had Scott Lawler, coach here at NC State, with me on the staff. And when you get a former player, Joey Devine helped out for a year. When you get a former player, Brett Austin, you know, came back and coached here. So when JT Jarrett came back, that was pretty special to me. He's such a special player and such a special person and such a good baseball player and such a good baseball mind. So to have him back, and he's kind of that good segue between a guy that's a little bit older in these players' eyes and a guy that just got through playing. So he's a good segue for me to run things by.
The NIL event you mentioned, the 21 team came back. How neat was that? And where do they rate in the history of NC State in your mind?
I'll tell you, a guy, and that was his words, not mine, but as I got ready to go up there and speak, he said, Coach, there's been 3 special teams, and I wouldn't dare, these were his words, not mine. He said the 74 national championship basketball team, and I talked to Monty Talley yesterday, and he's so special to me, and then the 83 national championship team and the 21 team that got so wronged in Omaha. Those are 3 of the teams, and I have had several people tell me, you know, NC State, all fans love to rally around something. NC State fans love to have something to rally around. And they rallied around that 21 team because everybody knew they were wronged and everybody was so upset. And that's a team that's so special. But what will never be said about that team and what people fail to realize, you can't imagine the hurt. You can't imagine the disgust, the anger, and guys that gave so much when I called them together at 1:30 in a little room in a hotel lobby in Omaha and told them we were going home. And you know, I told them, be mad, be upset. We'll get through this, but don't do anything to embarrass this program. You will always be remembered for how great y'all were and what y'all gave to this university, but only if you act like professionals from this point on. So what I will always remember about that team the most is how they handled that moment with class. And even though other people handled it poorly, they handled it very, very well.